Underway after a DPS trooper shoves the mother of one of the victims from Uvalde school shooting.
2 out of 3 Democrat lawmakers in Tennessee ousted after protesting on the chamber floor for gun reform.
And a Holy Thursday Mass in a local prison held today. Reporter Adarius McCormick has more straight ahead.
We now have river flood warnings here in the Crossroads. As you can see, the Guadalupe River is under a flood warning. And although it was lighter earlier today, it's about to get heavier. We've got a big cluster of storms coming up from the Corpus Christi area. Should be here within a couple of hours. We'll have all your weather coming up in a moment.
And the Great Wall of Honduras came up pretty big in penalty kicks in multiple playoff games. We hear from him and his coach in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us for 25 News Now at 10. I'm Don Brubaker.
And I'm Karina Garcia.
This is an alert day. The Hallettsville Police Department reports Edna Street, where it connects at County Road 128, is completely impassable. More Lavaca County flooded roads on our website, crossroadstoday.com. Taking a first look at your forecast, First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Mac Pettis joined us with the latest. And Mac, we've got some river warnings coming up.
Yeah, it's getting complicated, and we all knew at the beginning of this that it was going to be 2 to 4 inches of rain total, and here they are. Now, earlier this evening, we had a big line of storms that came up west of us, basically started down at Campbellton, came up through 37, went up through Karnes County, and then hit Hallettsville. Hallettsville had some flooding. This evening, we've got a big cluster of storms just to the south of us. You see it right there, and it's stormy all the way down into Nueces County. Now, this activity is going to be with us through the night and through most of tomorrow. But those of you that live along the Guadalupe, Bloomington, all the areas down to SA Bay, you got to be on the lookout because thunderstorms are rolling in and the flooding is going to get even worse tomorrow. When will it clear? I'll have that answer coming up in just a moment. We'll toss it back to you. Don, Karina?
Mac, thank you. This is going to bring us to your beer poll tonight. Scan that QR code on your screen right now to participate. Have you experienced any damage from the recent severe weather? Yes or no? According to these results, 7% say yes and 93% say no. Thank you for voting tonight. Remember, visit us tomorrow for our latest beer poll.
New at 10, the Gonzales County Emergency Management reports that Highway 87 between Smiley and the county line closed due to an oil fire. This information was posted around 5:15 p.m.
A teenager in custody for fatally stabbing a John Jay High School student during a fight at a San Antonio restaurant earlier this week. KSAT reports 18-year-old Jesus San Miguel is charged with murder. An arrest warrant affidavit states that San Miguel stabbed Joshua Eugene Kinman Tuesday afternoon and that San Miguel went to the Bexar County Jail on Tuesday night to turn himself in to police.
State Senator Roland Gutierrez is calling for an investigation after the mother of one of the Uvalde shooting victims from last year was shoved by a DPS trooper. It was all caught on camera. It happened at Flores Elementary School in Uvalde Wednesday as students took part in a national school walkout against gun violence. Anna Rodriguez was trying to check her son out of school to attend the walkout. Rodriguez says she was forced out of Flores Elementary when he was not allowed out of the auditorium. Rodriguez was able to get her son out of school. The district sent a notice to parents warning about the walkout. Arson not ruled out as the cause of a fire that totally destroyed a Woodsboro home Sunday night. Woodsboro Police Chief Ryan Gregory tells the Refugio County News that before the fire was extinguished at 606 Pew Street, a taser was used on a man before he was taken into custody at the scene by Woodsboro Police. The report says the man tried kicking out the windows and banged his head against the windows while in the back seat of a Woodsboro PD unit.
Now, the search for a missing boy turns into a death investigation as police have determined the child is likely deceased. Everman police were searching for 6-year-old Noel Rodriguez Alvarez since last month after family members say they haven't seen him since November of 2022. The boy's mother told police he was with his biological father in Mexico, but that was false. Family members also said she told them she sold the boy at a Fiesta market to an unknown woman, and that woman threatened to call CPS if she threatened to take him back.
Investigators are now working towards identifying potential locations and conducting recovery operations. We are engaging with several experts and highly qualified organizations to assist us on this venture. Some organized searches have already begun and are expected to continue in the coming days.
Police searched the family's last known address, a rental home in Everman, but there was no sign of the child. Singh and her husband, Arshdeep Singh, who have since left the country, are charged with felony abandoning or endangering a child. Police now working with federal partners to locate and extradite the couple back to the United States.
Tennessee's GOP-dominated House has expelled 2 of the 3 Democratic members for their roles in a demonstration in favor of gun control following the Nashville school shooting. The move comes after the now former state representatives were accused of breaking House rules by protesting inside the chamber during a demonstration for gun reform. The protest occurred in the wake of the mass shooting at a Christian school which left 7 people dead, including the shooter.
It is wrong to be trying to expel the 3 legislators. I know 2 of them personally. They're good people. They have strong moral convictions. They are people of faith.
Justin Jones was joined by 2 other state representatives, Justin Pearson and Gloria Johnson. Pearson was expelled tonight. The vote to expel Johnson failed by just 1 vote. And 25 News Now reporter Adarius McCormick went to prison today in Cuero, but not for the reason you're thinking.
No. Adarius visited the...
Adarius could never.
That's right. Adarius was visiting the Clarence and Stevenson unit to celebrate a holiday mass. Adarius?
Well, Donna Karina, as you know, Easter is this Sunday. There's Good Friday tomorrow. But this afternoon, the Diocese of Victoria celebrated Holy Thursday with inmates in Cuero. Jesus Christ washed the feet of his disciples on the Holy Thursday before he was killed. Churches continue to imitate this act with their leaders to show humility. Why continue this tradition in prison? Bishop Brendan Cahill says humility does not stop at church. All of God's children deserve the same respect.
And that if we visit our brothers and sisters who are in prison and bring them Jesus and love and mercy, that we're visiting Jesus himself. And so for me, I mentioned this is my first time to wash feet in a prison. Pope Francis has done it, other bishops have done it, other priests. But just to think that this is literally following the command of Jesus to visit me when I'm in prison.
Cahill performed this special mass as usual. However, the inmates helped out. They sang, played instruments, walked the bishop to the altar, and even controlled the soundboard. Hermes Silva worked hard to make this event perfect. Everyone in the room repeated how Silva was instrumental in planning. He says this work is his calling.
I do this on a volunteer basis. I think I've just been called with what the Lord has called us to do, to go evangelize. And to me, prison ministry plays a vital role.
Prison ministry is nothing new to this area, but the special mass is. The inmates left with a new attitude. They were more than excited to spend time with the Diocese of Victoria. One inmate said he can't wait to see them again. Adarius McCormick, KAVU-TV, 25 News Now.
The Palacios Preservation Association hosting a community meeting on the future of the Luther Hotel. The meeting is this Saturday, April 8th from 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. at the City by the Sea Museum, 401 Commerce Street in Palacios. People can ask questions about the Luther Hotel, and experts will be there to talk about the future of the hotel. Even though the Luther Hotel is listed on the National Register and is a recorded Texas historic landmark, its future looks grim. Stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 10. Idaho becomes the first state to pass a law explicitly restricting some out-of-state travel for abortions.
Also ahead, U.S. lawmakers led by the House Foreign Affairs Committee chair are visiting Taiwan.
News Center 25 at 6 and 10 is also heard on KVNN 1340 AM, Victoria's News Network.
Victory GMC is the favorite in the Crossroads because our staff has years of experience and they know how to make their customers smile.
Walter Dixon, 32 years.
Linda Briggs, 38 years.
Jose Garza, 24 years.
Jake Hargis, 23 years.
Houston Paul Igor, 3 years.
Come let the right people give you a world-class buying experience. We think you'll call it victory.
On Saturday, March 18th at 9:40 p.m., officers with the Victoria Police Department responded to a call of shots fired on the 3600 block of East Forest Street. They located a 32-year-old man who had been shot. Witnesses advised that after the shooting, the suspect fled in a dark-colored truck. If you have any information about this assault, please call Victoria Crime Stoppers at 361-572-4200. All tips are anonymous. If you give information that leads to arrest or charges being filed, you could earn a cash reward.
CCA Texas and industry leaders have built the largest saltwater redfish, spotted sea trout, and southern flounder hatchery system in the world, releasing nearly 1 billion fingerlings into our Texas bays. Adult broodstock are spawned in tanks. Hundreds of thousands of fingerlings are raised in grow-out ponds and released into bays to ensure we have healthy populations for future generations. Join CCA today and help us make a difference.
A young driver manipulated by a mechanic.
He said I needed new shocks, and he was like nice. I thought he was trustworthy.
Then she was really in a fix.
So something happened after 3 months.
Whenever I speed up or turn, there's a knocking sound. I ended up spending $2,100 to replace all of the shocks.
Oh, interesting.
Next, Judge Judy.
We're honored ABC's 2020 winner of 3 Emmy Awards for Excellence. Thank you for making 2020 Friday night's most watched and most honored news magazine.
A new Idaho law called the abortion trafficking law makes it illegal for an adult to help a minor get an abortion without parental consent. This is punishable by 2 to 5 years in prison. Terminating a pregnancy is illegal in the state unless it saves the life of the mother or in cases of rape and incest in which the survivor has reported the incident to law enforcement. Idaho becomes the first state to pass a law explicitly restricting some out-of-state travel for abortions. A 21-year-old man was shot at a mall in Virginia over the weekend while filming a video for his prank-oriented YouTube page.
He was taken to the intensive care unit after being shot in the stomach.
Calls from Loudoun County deputies echoing through Adolis Town Center as officers move in on a man with a gun. Authorities say 31-year-old Alan Coley of Leesburg shot 21-year-old Tanner Cook. Coley is now charged with multiple felonies. Cook's father, Jeremy, says his son was making a prank video for his YouTube page.
They had a phone that was in his face, and they were trying to do a Google Translate prank. I'm sure they were saying something to him that wasn't, making him laugh, or he wasn't enjoying it. And so he got mad and he shot my son. Cook acknowledges some of his son's videos can be a little on the edge, but says he's never attacked anyone. I know that sometimes in having fun that things look like go too far, but he's not physically hurting anybody. He's just trying to be a goofball. As for whether or not Cook legally crossed any lines, attorney Christopher Brown tells 7 News the defendant may claim he felt he was being assaulted.
It's not the worst argument in the world when someone approaches you and reaches out at you with an object in their hand. Officers use this all the time as a defense in police shooting cases. When he pulled his hand out, I thought it was a gun. Well, it was a cell phone. So far, no charges are being brought against Cook, but prosecutors could explore that option. Cook has this message for the shooting suspect. I'm trying to lead by example here and say that I forgive the guy that shot my son.
Cook says his son will focus on his recovery for now and take a break from YouTube.
A bombshell report from ProPublica reports Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas accepted several luxury trips from Republican mega donor Harlan Crow. ProPublica reports Justice Thomas and his wife have gone on lavish trips to multiple countries and states, including Texas. These trips were not disclosed on Thomas's public financial filings with the Supreme Court. In a statement, Crow says these trips are no different from the hospitality he shows to his other friends. A congressional delegation arrived in Taiwan Thursday to meet with Taiwanese leaders amid growing tensions between Washington and Beijing. The bipartisan congressional delegation will talk to the Taiwanese about strengthening the economy and defense relationships between the U.S. and Taiwan. Shortly after arrival, House Foreign Affairs Committee Chairman Michael McCall said the delegation hopes to, quote, harden Taiwan against possible aggression from the Chinese mainland.
But we're not going to let this intimidation, get to us. We all received sort of threatening texts. There was talk about a Chinese escort in the air, but that's just really intimidation, saber rattling. I think the meetings we're going to have here are going to be very important in terms of, the next leadership. Meet with President Tsai, talk about weapon systems that I sign off on, going into Taiwan to harden Taiwan, and are they prepared? Do we have enough deterrence to stop, aggression coming from Communist China?
The trip comes after House Speaker Kevin McCarthy met with Taiwan's leader in California. Beijing called that meeting a provocation. Taiwan is a self-ruling democracy which China claims as its territory. Utah's Big and Little Cottonwood Canyons closed for avalanche mitigation after recent slides. Utah Department of Transportation avalanche crews faced with record-breaking snow depth and slides running in unusual places. Utah's Avalanche Center director says heavy snow from the past few weeks fell on top of a weaker layer of snow, making the canyon prone to avalanches. The state had 2 fatal avalanches this year as the danger remains extremely high across northern Utah.
I've been to that Little Cottonwood Canyon. It is a very steep valley, so they have to mitigate that snow as soon as they can. Well, what about us? Well, folks, the rain is rolling back in. There's the city. I don't know if you can see it, but it's down there. There's Victoria, and now heavy thunder showers are rolling up from the south. How long will this last? Well, we've got 2 more big surges of storms, and then hopefully we'll see a clearing. I'll have all your weather details coming up in just a moment. Stay tuned.
It's only 2 days, Friday and Saturday at Lax Furniture, and it's really big. Get 2 times the tax savings, up to 50% off select items, and no interest financing. Where else will you get that? Nowhere but Lax.
Are you ready to stop letting big business take your customers away? Phase 3 Digital is your #1 digital marketing resource to keep your customers shopping with you. With an office right here in the Crossroads and a team of support across the nation, we can help you wherever your business is in the online journey. From building a site to developing e-commerce capabilities to growing your customer base, we will drive results. It is time to take the next step in growing your business with Phase 3 Digital. Are you ready to take your customers back? Give us a call or visit us online to get started.
The Victoria Television Group is proud to honor our veterans, and we need your entries. Each month, we'll acknowledge a new veteran to salute. To submit, go to the Military Hero page on CrossroadsToday.com and help us recognize the deserving servicemen and women in our community.
Have a legal question that you don't have the answer to? Crossroads Law is here to help. The esteemed lawyers of the Cole, Easley & Skiba law firm are here to answer them. Submit your questions to CrossroadsToday.com. This is a free service where you can find practical answers about real-life situations you might have encountered. Crossroads Law is a service of the Victoria Television Group and the law firm of Cole, Easley & Skiba, advocates of trial by jury.
Victoria All Sports, South Texas's largest family-owned sporting goods store. Having served Victoria and surrounding counties since 1971, we're proud to continue to meet your firearms, hunting, fishing, camping, and outdoor apparel needs. Our friendly and knowledgeable outdoor experts can help you pick the perfect equipment for your next outdoor excursion, and that our in-house gunsmith services are available long after your purchase. Come get geared up at Victoria All Sport, located at 1902 Houston Highway, right here in Victoria.
Just 3 words tell you everything you need to know. They tell you why we employ more than 2,000 workers at our factory in Virginia Beach. Not everyone can say that, but we can. Made in America. Real steel. Find yours.
Right now, save up to $50 on gas or battery trimmers.
Sherry. I love watching the show, but I couldn't help but notice you don't have a catchphrase. Hey, family! Hey, family! Friday, Kim Whitley.
Well, good evening, everyone. We've got another line of storms rolling into the crossroads. Here is the city, and you can see the crossroads there. But what we have is a big cluster of storms coming up from the south. In fact, it was just over the Nueces River right about there. And you can see the big hungry blob all the way up to Refugio. So now here, these are big ones. Okay, these have thunder and lightning in them. And every now and then we see a little blue dot, and that tells us there might even be a little hail in this. The punchline is, I believe that the freezing level is rising, and as a result, I don't think that we're going to have a big hail issue. However, you know, this whole thing has been off the charts there. Here's Corpus Christi, and we've got stormy weather all the way south. Now, this is going to be here tonight about midnight, but earlier in the afternoon, out west of us from I-37, Campbellton through Karnes County, all the way up to Gonzales and Hallettsville, we got about 3 to 4 inches of rain. So now that rain is rolling down the rivers. So we have now a new advisory for most of the rivers around the area. For the Guadalupe River, from the city through Bloomington all the way down to San Antonio Bay, we have a river flood warning, and that means that all of the low-lying areas will probably be in flood. So if you have interest or property or cattle down there, just know that the rivers are going to be rising and maybe out of stream. So minor lowland flooding is the original or the official statement. Nonetheless, if you have interest down there, you need to be concerned. Obviously, tonight's not a good time, but tomorrow morning when we get out there, we'll see, you'll probably see some rising water. Now, when is this over? Well, we've got tonight and tomorrow 2 separate storm cells coming through. The area of low pressure above us is being caused by what we call a fast jet. In other words, the air at the higher levels is going across us so fast that it's making these storms grow taller and taller. So the bad news is tonight stormy. You know, it's going to keep you awake for some of you. Tomorrow night, which is Friday night, the storm center should start moving away. And that is the good news that I have for you tonight, that by Saturday we'll start seeing the big stuff pull away. And with a little luck, on Sunday, we'll actually see a little bit of sun. Now, we may see a little pop-up shower because of the sun beating down on the moist soil, popping up a little rain, but I wouldn't consider it anything serious, and it'll be very widely scattered and isolated. But the bottom line for us is that we got to get through tonight. Now, let's see, where is Victoria? I guess it would be somewhere around like there. Oh, there it is. Okay, so what do you have? You have this blue dot coming in. And then further south, we got another blue dot coming in across the Rio Grande. That's the one that'll be here Friday noontime. So we've got one for this evening and one for tomorrow afternoon. And then after that is when I think a lot of this will start pulling away. But you can almost see how the jet stream goes up like this and really enhances the intensity of all this stormy weather over the area. So again, we'll look at it in the long term as the low pulls away. The showers will begin to decrease Friday evening. By Saturday, we should see a few, maybe no showers, just a couple breaks in the clouds, but still generally cloudy on Saturday. By Sunday is the big question, and I do believe we'll see a little break in the cloud cover and a little bit of sun. It'll be very soggy, it'll be very muddy and all that stuff, but at least, we won't get rained on, because you got to get to church. All right, so let's take a look. Tonight, showers and a few thunderstorms. They're rolling in right now. Tomorrow, showers and a few thunderstorms. Only a high of 65, and then by the time we get to Sunday, we'll hope for some breaks. Early next week, it looks like we'll see a little bit of sun to dry us out. That's your 7-day forecast. Thanks for joining us. And remind everybody that if you get your phone and you scan that QR code, you can put Crossroads Today on your phone, and I can get to you and tell you every time there's a new warning coming out. And that is it from the weather. Now we'll toss it over to Gino.
Thanks, Mac. The Pepsi Athlete of the Week is hoping to shut down the Strikers tomorrow in the playoff game. That's coming up after the break.
Hello, neighbor. Before you buy a home,
Before you sell a home,
before you make any home improvements, call USA Foundation Repair.
a thorough and honest inspection
is what you get from USA Foundation Repair.
We work with realtors and contractors on the front line every day doing inspections and repairs. Don't get taken to the train station. Get the USA Foundation Repair brand of approval. Call us today for an honest inspection.
When it comes from McAdams, it shows you care. The freshest flowers, the prettiest plants, balloons and gift baskets too. If beautifully unique is what you seek, making lasting impressions is what we do. Always the very best value for you. When it comes from McAdams, it shows you care.
Join us at First United Methodist Church Sunday mornings at 8:30 on KABU TV. But if you're looking for a place to worship in person, we'd love to have you join us here at 8:30 and 10:40 in our sanctuary, or at 11 o'clock with Pastor Amanda in our Ignite Contemporary service. As society gets more and more back to normal, we hope that you'll join us for worship. We were made to worship in community. We pray together, sing together, share in Holy Communion together. Won't you come be the church with us at First United Methodist Church?
Tired of your typical clock in, clock out job? You need a rewarding career in an entertaining environment that you'll enjoy. Take yourself out of the box and come to the Victoria Television Group. We have an active, fun, creative atmosphere that can help you succeed and keep those everyday work blues away. Come join our energetic and outgoing sales team. Renew your career and learn to use skills you didn't know you had. Call us 361-575-2500 or email opportunity@victoriatelevision.com for more information.
Workplace bullying can affect you physically.
I threw my back out. I started losing my hair.
It can take a terrible toll on your mental health.
She would yell at me. She would demean me.
Now I start thinking I'm worthless.
We're still rewarding this behavior. We need to make it taboo.
If you wake up every day and let somebody else tell you what your worth is, then you've given them your power. Next, Dr. Phil.
Howdy Crossroads, the Pepsi Athlete of the Week is a Calhoun Sand Crab goalie. Sports reporter Zach Brown met with the brick wall that is Daniel Solano.
Keep it on the ground. The Calhoun Sand Crabs are still playing after a dramatic victory in Needville last week, and while the entire team stepped up big, goalkeeper Daniel Solano had huge save after huge save to keep the game tied at 1 to give the Sand Crabs a chance. Head coach Quirarte called them warriors because of the fight they have in them. Daniel Solano says they have that mentality going into this week.
By our size, mostly everybody thinks we're not that good, but we show them, we prove to them that size doesn't matter, and we just fight with everything we got. We keep our heads up, we take a goal, and we keep fighting and fighting.
Before the season, they were asked what drove them on the field, and Daniel has a special reason for his play. His grandmother, who passed away a few years ago. He used to live with her as a kid in Honduras before him and his father came to the U.S. Now every time he takes the field, memories of her kind words fill his mind.
When I used to play when I was little, she would tell me that I was going to become one of the best players, and I think about that all the time, and she was actually right. I'm becoming really good. I'm helping my team out.
And he helped a lot last week, slamming the door on Needville's shots late through 2 overtimes and into penalty kicks. And while his teammates were knocking through PKs, Daniel came up clutch. After the Sand Crabs knocked the 4th penalty kick in, Daniel just needed to come up big one last time. The Sand Crabs came up clutch when they needed to the most, while Daniel Solano gave them the chance by shutting the door as Calhoun gets ready to head to Katy and continue this deep playoff push. Those saves in the most critical moments in a huge playoff game are why Daniel Solano is your Pepsi Athlete of the Week.
The Calhoun Sand Crabs are having a fan bus that is leaving tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Kickoff is at 5 o'clock in Legacy Stadium in Katy against the Lumberton Raiders. Sand Crabs head coach Ezekiel Quirarte said their hotels are already booked for Saturday because they do not plan on coming home tomorrow.
If it's Lumberton, if it's any other school, it doesn't matter. I just tell them, hey, we're here to play our game, and we don't worry about the other teams. We're just going to worry about what we can do and try to win. That's what we've been doing every game.
Sports reporter Zach Brown will be at Katy Legacy Stadium to watch this game, but before that one, he'll be watching the El Campo game too. The El Campo Ricebirds soccer team is getting ready to head to Houston for the regional tournament as well, as the Ricebirds are coming off a 1-0 victory over the Mexica Black Cats and will play the East Chamber Buccaneers. The Bucks are also coming off a 1-0 victory and are ranked number 20th in the state. These two will battle Friday afternoon in Katy. Kickoff is at 1 o'clock at Legacy Stadium, and if the Ricebirds and Calhoun Sand Crabs both win, they will play each other Saturday for the regional finals. Well, that's your sports. Don and Karina, back to you.
Thanks, Gina. Stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 10, we'll take a last look at your weather, plus a dice roll decides the winner in an election tie.
Victory Kia and Victory GMC want to let you know that you can lean on us. We will award $500 to a deserving winner. Drop off an entry form at any of our participating dealerships in the Lean On Me drop box with your story and contact info. Go to crossroadstoday.com/leanonme for more information or to enter online. You can tune in every other Thursday at the 6, 9, and 10 p.m. news to view our winners. Lean On Me is sponsored by Victory Kia and Victory GMC.
So y'all have been married for 35 years. Are there things that bother you about each other?
I mean, nothing.
You've directed each other.
She had me do it 30 times.
I think I might be a little more exacting than Kevin is.
She was like, I want you to say, okay.
No, it wasn't like that.
Okay, right, exactly. You see what I'm saying?
Next, Kelly. She's still not nailing it.
A young driver manipulated by a mechanic.
He said I needed new shocks. And he was nice. I thought he was trustworthy.
Then she was really in a fix.
So something happened after 3 months.
Whenever I speed up or turn, there's a knocking sound. I ended up spending $2,100 to replace all of the shocks.
Oh, interesting.
Next, Judge Judy.
Port Washington, Wisconsin, now home to the Midwest Regional Mural. Residents were excited to make the countdown today as the mural was unveiled. Oh. The mural is touted as a one-of-a-kind art collaboration that brings together 1,500 participants from the Midwestern states and throughout North America to paint a tile representing their connection, experiences, and affection for the Midwest. Port Washington was picked as the mural's home out of 11 states.
And a major ice storm knocked out power to more than 1 million residents across Quebec and Ontario. They were battered by a fierce ice storm on Wednesday, snapping power lines and toppling trees. Montreal is among the hardest hit areas, accounting for about half of the power outages. Thousands of utility workers are working to remove snapped power lines and restore the service. The Prime Minister is pledging his support in the storm's aftermath, acknowledging that this is a very difficult time for the residents.
It's a very difficult moment for Montrealers, for people across the region who have been hit by this ice storm. Obviously, the power being down for so many folks, the trees coming down, hurting buildings and cars and whatnot, is of course an ongoing concern. It's important for people to stay safe. And it's important that people do what we always do in times of difficulty. Neighbors will be there for neighbors. People will help out and support.
Authorities say much of the power should be restored within the next 24 hours. Ooh, well, luckily none of that stuff here.
Yes.
Well, the irony of it all, the storm that triggered that is the tail end. We got the tail end of it.
Wow, we got the hail part.
We got the hail and we got the storms and we got more storms coming in, folks. I don't know, some of you may not get a good night's sleep because of the thunder and lightning rolling in. As you can see right about there, it is just getting into the Crossroads region. It'll be in the city probably within an hour or two. And then there's another cluster of storms coming in tomorrow. So that will be your Friday, very strong storms with an alert day to make everybody sure to get ready and be ready for the strong weather.
Thank you, Mac. And finally tonight, the roll of the dice has decided the village president for the village of Sister Bay, Wisconsin. It took the roll of the dice to settle an election night tie after incumbent Rob Joschke and candidate Nate Bell tied 256 to 256 in the April election. The race went to a tiebreaker. They rolled the dice to determine the winner. The contest took place this morning, and Nate Bell was declared the winner after his dice roll came up as a 6, and incumbent Rob Joschke ended up with a 2. And I don't know about you, but deciding an election like that is kind of dicey.
It's kind of dicey.
What happens if you roll snake eyes? Does that mean you lose?
Yes.
Okay, if you roll 7, that's bad.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us for 25 News Now at 10. Remember, we're streaming 24/7 on Crossroads Today Plus.
Join Carolina Astroini, meteorologist Trey Manning, 25 News Now Sunrise starting at 5 a.m. Good night.